But some people are fighting back. Some people have some concerns about the J&J vaccine, the blood clotting issue. That vaccine has been resumed in Europe, albeit with a warning, but not so here. Dr. Bob Lahita back with us, the St. Joseph Health Institute for Autoimmune and Rheumatic Diseases Director. Doctor, what did you make of the president's push today that we've kind of hit like a block or a bump in the road, and he wants to encourage particularly young people to get this vaccine?
Yeah, I agree, Neil. This is a big problem. The demand has gone down, and obviously our approaching herd immunity is not going to be reached if we don't get a critical number of people, roughly 70 to 80% of the population, immunized. So we need to increase willingness. About a fifth of people refuse unless required. And I don't advocate requiring that people get mandated to get the vaccine, but it seems to be we've hit a bump in the road. We've hit a big pothole right now, and a lot of that is fueled by the skepticism from the J&J problem.
You know, Doctor, the J&J thing, the European Union open to giving it another shot, so to speak, but with warnings, and you can decide for yourself whether you want that. What do you think of that approach?
Well, I think that's a legal approach. That's a good approach. The blood clots in the brains of these patients is exceedingly, and I say exceedingly with a capital E, it's very rare. So it's analogous to getting hit by lightning, but you're more likely to get hit by lightning than to have these blood clots form in your brain. So, but that has fueled skepticism. There's a lot of people out there that were just on the edge and waiting to hear what was going to happen. And I still hear from patients and everyone saying, well, we'll give it a year, we'll give it 2 years, we'll see what happens to everybody. That's not the approach we need in order to stop this virus from infecting everybody.
You know, Doctor, what do you tell your younger patients, many of whom, you know, if you're a certain age, I can remember this, it was like actually a century ago when I was their age, where you feel indestructible, right? You don't think it's for you. You know that young people are, you know, are in pretty good shape with this. I mean, there have been isolated cases, I don't minimize it, but that they feel they don't need to. Now, the president took a different tack with that crowd today by saying, well, if you care about your mom or your dad or your grandma or your grandpa, then maybe you should rethink that. What did you think of that approach?
I think that's a good approach. And, you know, a lot of people over the age of 16 are skeptical. But believe it or not, it's not that population that is a difficult population to vaccinate. It's the people between the ages of, say, 25 to 40, the early, I'm not going to say middle age, but the early group of people who are very skeptical. They've had enough time to think about it. They've had enough years to experience the flu vaccine and other vaccines. So I think young people are not going to be that bad a group to convince.
All right, because if you're calling them middle-aged, doctor, then I'm Noah. So I just was a little worried there. The doctor, how do you think we're doing? I know the problems certainly abroad in a place like India and Brazil, much of Europe, but we're doing pretty well here. Some states have these bumps and they're reimposing limited restrictions, but by and large, I don't want to, you know, jinx it. We seem to be doing okay. How would you describe it?
Yes. I would say we're doing very well. 200 million people vaccinated or having had one shot in a population of 350 million people. That's not bad, but we still have a ways to go before we can reach herd immunity. Now, in a lot of the southern states and a lot of the southwestern states, the numbers have decreased and the demand has gone down. And vaccine hesitancy is not what we need at the present time. We're on a roll. We need to get this done, and people just need to get out there and get their shots.
Got it. Doctor, good advice. Dr. Bob Lahita, good seeing you again, my friend. Thank you.
Good to see you, Neil. Thanks.